New Tactics by Jerome Barrera, Ralph de Castro, Lian Lumada, and Gileen Navarro. From the time period of 1900 to the present, many things developed and advanced. An example of this development would be new tactics in warfare, such as firebombing, trench warfare, and atomic bombs. Trench warfare was first used during the Civil War. It's a form of land warfare, and it consisted of elaborate trench systems called trench lines. It was used to defend one's trench by taking another's trench at the same time. It took forever to gain anything. In war fronts, there were opposing trench lines. No man's land was the area between the opposing trench lines.
With trench warfare, soldiers were protected from small arms fire and sheltered from artillery. World War I was basically war in trenches. Trench warfare was developed because while technology kept advancing, people's mobility stayed the same. Trench warfare was a defense against advanced technology, for example, firearms. Trench warfare only lasted for 4 years, from 1914 to 1918 during World War I. It ended when Germany surrendered to the British due to lack of funding and resources to continue fighting.
Firebombing made its most prominent appearance in 1915 and 1942. Firebombing is a strategy of bombing using incendiary devices, and unlike purely explosive bombs, most of their damage came from the spreading of fire rather than just a blast effect. Firebombing began way before the 20th century. For example, Byzantine Empire used Greek fire. It was used in World War I, 1915. The Germans used it on southwest England. However, it wasn't that effective because it's hard to catch fire on large surface area items. It was used most extensively in World War II in 1942. US used it on Japan and US used it on Germany. It was way more effective because it combined the uncontrollable fires from the incendiary devices with the blast effect of explosives, which broke large-scale items into smaller surface area pieces, allowing for easier ignition, and therefore making it more effective.
Atomic bombs made an appearance in the year 1945. An atomic bomb is a weapon with great explosive power that is produced from the sudden release of energy upon fission of the nuclei in elements such as plutonium and uranium. Atomic bombs have the capability of vaporizing an area at an instant. There have been 2 events that an atomic bomb was used on humans, which were the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hiroshima, August 6, 1945. America dropped an atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, onto the city of Hiroshima. 60,000 to 70,000 people were killed or missing. 140,000 people were injured and homeless. Deadly radiation reached over 100,000, creating a painful death to those affected. Nagasaki, August 9, 1945. America drops an atomic bomb, codenamed Fat Man, onto the city of Nagasaki. Flashburn caused most casualties to inhabitants. Many people were burned and combusted into flames. Bomb killed 40,000 people and injured 40,000 more. In the early stages, the explosion reaches the temperatures of millions of degrees. Radiations are emitted from the explosion, gamma rays, and alpha-beta particles. Radioactive particles cause radiation sickness, resulting in a huge amount of casualties. The Manhattan Project was an American effort to design and build a successful atomic bomb before anyone else.
Trench warfare was globally significant throughout World War I because it was the main strategy in war at the time. Throughout the 4 years it was used from 1914 to 1918, many of the countries, both in the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance, used trench warfare as their tactic. However, after the war, the tactic disappeared because it wasn't as effective as other war strategies.
Like all developments in weaponry and war tactics, firebombing gave rise to new and more efficient methods of destruction, and it also facilitated the desire to develop further within those types of devices.
America's use of the atomic bomb was a swift and risky decision. President Truman decided sweeping Japan off their feet with an attack like this will keep the lives of thousands of Americans and British safe. After this event, many other countries started to plan and produce their own line of nuclear weapons. Japan's unconditional surrender led to the end of the World War II.